in that studio. We good?
Yeah.
I had it fell on my computer. It like came on screen.
Nice.
What's up, guys? We told you we'd be whoa, I just had a stroke.
Quick reset.
All right, I'm not using it right now.
I need to reset my mouth. What are you doing?
I was trying to keep it charged at the same time.
Oh, I got you. Are we still live?
Yeah, we're live.
Okay. If you're getting sick over there, it's because he keeps moving the camera. Oh, God, and he's about to drop it. So we reset. We're about to do our podcast. We got lots of stuff to tell you. Mainly, we got to hear the actual behind-the-scenes true story of the boys hanging out with Chris Jericho for an entire
Behind
day.
the music.
Behind
Fozzy
the music.
edition.
Exactly. That is what we're going to get into.
Okay.
All
All right, I'll pull it up
Are
here.
you recording on Adobe?
No.
I'm sorry. Here, close.
You do your thing. You do your thing. Yeah, these boys, I've talked about it on the air a few times that you guys hung out with Chris Jericho, but it absolutely is not going to be told unless it's in your fangirl version.
Oh.
And I kind of feel like who's going to tell their version first? Are you going to interrupt each other, or how's this going to work?
I'll start with the backstory, and then I know where Jimbo
Because
wants to jump in.
I
know where Jimbo's going to jump in.
I know exactly where I want to jump into.
I know there's a part. I've been sort of.
Have you avoided spoilers, Shasta?
Well, kind of.
Okay.
Which mic are you going on? This one?
Yeah, me.
I'm going on this guy here.
All right. Just gotta set my board. There we go. Check.
Oh, it's actually pretty
Check.
fancy.
What?
No, it kind of works out good.
I hope so.
It looks like our boss man needs to come. Do you need me? Just so you know, we're on Facebook Live. I can come out if you'd like me to. Just want to give you a fair warning.
So, hey everyone. So, yeah.
Slight delay.
I guess Jimbo and I will entertain you guys. So, yeah, we're about to record an episode of The Second Shift. So, just a little heads up. If you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe to our podcast, 1077thebone.com. Just look up on iTunes or Stitcher as well. All good?
Okay. Yeah, it's a secret though, so I don't want to put it on Facebook.
It's a secret.
I see what it is. Like,
Stop it!
But you walked in with it.
But they don't know what it
She
is.
didn't have an angle. They don't know.
They don't know. Don't try to throw me under
Don't
the
give
bus.
me ideas.
Here, do you need that?
Yeah, sure.
All right, you guys. We're actually going to get to the point here pretty soon.
Is it recording right now?
Yes, it is.
Is
Check.
it?
Yay!
Hello, testing.
Hello.
Okay, you ready?
Yep.
What's up, everybody?
Woo!
Thank you again for tuning in to this week's episode of The Second Shift. I'm Baby Huey, sitting across from me, the wonderful Chasta.
Hello there.
And my tag team partner in and out of the ring and in life, the great
God.
Bimbo Chimbo.
Let's get it going.
I don't even know what that means, and I'm not going to ask questions.
And also, I could say officially a friend of Chris Jericho as well.
Yeah, we're going to get into that.
Okay.
Let's just get right into it.
Well, no, first I do want to apologize to all the listeners right now who are either listening to us right now on the Bones Facebook page.
We're sorry you're listening.
Or if
I
you're
just want to apologize that you're listening to us.
if you're listening to us right now on either iTunes or Stitcher or however you listen to our wonderful podcast at 1077thebone.com. But yeah, it's been, 6-week hiatus.
Has it been?
Yeah, I looked it up. We did one in the first week in February.
You guys, this is just what we do. Can we just
Rebrand's
own it?
off to a
Can we
roaring
just-
start.
Can we just own that we do this?
Hey,
We'll have an episode every 6 weeks.
Which is pretty good. I mean, a lot of these TV shows nowadays take like long breaks in between seasons.
It's-
And
Yeah, they have like production costs,
Yeah.
and people to pay and stuff like that.
yeah.
I do think, call it a hunch,
Yeah.
that we're going to be able to be more consistent with it in the near future. Just
Yes, we are.
if I look at my crystal ball, I think so.
Okay. No,
I think you're right.
Good to say. Safe to say with that.
Yeah, I think
okay.
so.
Is that something we'll talk about another time? If
Yeah.
Ever?
Yeah,
Or-
yeah.
yes.
If ever.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, part of the other problem is, I want to put the blame on lack of episodes on this guy right here, Bimbo
Oh.
Jimbo.
Wow.
I've come to the conclusion. Okay, you know how this guy right here started the Delmores Don't Work in December hashtag because I need to take my vacation around the holiday season. Well, I like to blame it. I got a new hashtag. Jimbo doesn't work in February. This guy decided to take a trip to New Orleans, and we didn't see him for the longest time.
Okay.
So, oh great, he's gonna come back now.
I'm gonna defend him first because in the notes here for the podcast topics, you actually put that Jimbo doesn't work in February.
Absolutely.
Which is a real far stretch.
Yeah.
Super stretch.
Oh, yeah.
New Orleans, how long?
I took officially, I took 3 days off from work.
Oh, wait,
3 days off.
Practically.
I
a
happened-
travel day?
Because I happened to plan my trip to the Big Easy around the holiday that was coming up that Monday. I took 3 days off of work.
On paper.
Of the many days of vacation time of which I've accrued over my years here and never used for myself. I just toil away. I have to carry the whole bag of bricks in December when Delmore's going to hibernation. I take 3 days to scout our location for WrestleMania 34, and you have the balls, the stones, to
So
call
you were
me out.
technically working.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
oh,
It's a
technically
working
working.
vacation.
Oh, he was doing his best Bray Wyatt impression with the outfit he was wearing one night.
And that was a whole inside joke.
This is a
And
sad
by,
attempt
and by
to
the
try
way,
and get back at you.
you're pathetic,
really
really,
is.
desperate. And the idea of trying to blame our 6-week hiatus on a 3-day vacation is that's some Delmore mathematics right there.
You're
That's right.
stretching reality like someone else I know named Lamont. Okay,
Well, I learned it from the best.
Yeah.
Being around him long enough, that's how I do it.
These stories get grander and grander.
Yes. Well, travel day. Well, no, okay, to be real, because Jimbo took advantage of his downtime because the Warriors were on
It was All-Star
All-Star break. So he had a very fun trip down to New Orleans.
This
I'm
all
super
started
jealous
when I
of
go to
him.
New Orleans. Yeah, well, it was a great time. God, so much good food.
Oh, I'm so jealous.
What was the
Oh,
highlight
so
for you?
jealous.
There were a lot of things, but honestly, one of the big high points for me was literally when I first got there, and I just took my ass down to the Airbnb, or to the French Quarter from the Airbnb.
Okay.
Just walked right in. It's a line around the block for Acme Oyster House, which I always go to in New Orleans. But they're like,
I've
how many
been there
people?
too.
How many people you got? And I was like, just one. And then it's just like, oh, just come on in, just have a seat at the bar. I was like, that's right. Just,
Beauty of traveling alone.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you get
Yeah.
some soup too? Like, do they have like clam chowder
They
there as well?
have they have gumbo and
I
jambalaya
was
Yeah.
gonna say
and
it's
stuff
not
like that.
soup. It's jambalaya, gumbo, or chowder.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say because
Come on.
Lamont and I went in there and we got like everything.
I always just go with the char grilled oysters. Though.
Yes.
that's
Oh,
always
so
my.
good.
So I crushed a dozen of those, and it was just nice to detach
Yeah,
for a few days,
absolutely.
and not have to worry about people saying I don't work in February and stuff like that.
It's true. Don't listen to him. Don't believe. Yeah, it's true.
But
Two against one
the
here, kid.
thing with my outfit, which has been much maligned,
Dude,
maligned,
people down
across
the
all
hall.
social media.
People, no, between you and I, people down the hall really had fun with
Oh
that.
yeah, of course.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, of course they did because they're sad.
Yes.
But the whole point. So I got a Panama hat. I got like a Tommy Bahama styled shirt and everything like that. The whole point of this was so my best friend Jeff at the last second decided that he was going to come to New Orleans.
Oh.
And he's never been. And we had this sort of running joke, like when we talk about trips and stuff that we want to take. That essentially, like I was like running away forever,
Right.
and I was just gonna be like this ensconced, like ugly American type, like living like in sin with like lots of soft company and lots of hard drinking going on. And there's this character from Goldeneye, played by Joe Don Baker, that wears an outfit like that. So I was like, dude, I'm gonna do this bit for Jeff. So when he comes in, I'm gonna be in like the full regalia. So that was the story
Nicely
behind
done.
it.
So
Yeah.
Jeff is James Bond?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I'll give him that.
Yeah. Which one?
Pierce Brosnan.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
well, it's
well,
'cause we're doing Goldeneye.
Okay. Yeah. That's true. I was gonna say I'm a Sean Connery.
But
fan.
that's of course he's the best. But that's the background.
okay.
So
Well, I'm glad you had fun. You scouted the place out, and I'm sure we'll be talking a lot about New Orleans in the coming weeks. Of
Yeah,
what you and I
absolutely.
got lined up soon. So, okay, the big story that Jimbo and I just been teasing on our previous Facebook Live video.
Dying to hear this.
Stuff that you've seen already on 1077thebone.com. Pretty much an epic day in our personal careers.
up and down day too.
Yes.
Roller coaster of a day.
It was very much so. So, this past Tuesday, Chris Jericho, one of the greatest wrestlers of all time, he has a band called Fozzy, which you all should know by now, especially from our previous interview with him at Aftershock last October.
Huge rock star.
And the photoshopping scandal. But anyways, go ahead.
we digress.
But he's on tour right now, out supporting their latest album, Judas. It's they had
Great
a
album.
Bay Area stop at Slim's, and we first saw this show announcement way back in December, I believe, when the tour was announced. And so we all geeked out super hard. It's like, oh man, we got to go to this show. Maybe we can get him in the studio, do a bunch of fun things with him. So our good friends over at Slim's helped out. We got in touch with his manager. Mari was going to see if we can get him in the Fozzy in the Levi's Lounge to perform, do all those things. We worked like this all through January. Some other things happened, scheduling-wise, changed for the band. So the whole Levi's Lounge performance fell apart, which is all good. They still want to do the interview and everything. So kind of leading up to it, we were going to get them in the studio, do a interview in the Levi's Lounge, very similar to Chas and I, what we did with Andrew WK.
Right,
kind of
couch.
a new web feature we've been trying to do and launch. So we had this all booked. We're going to get Chris Jericho in the Levi's Lounge, do this fun interview, then watch him at Slim's that night. Super excited. So the manager reached out to me personally and said, hey, man, can you do us a favor, pick up Chris at the airport and then bring him to the studio?
And your head exploded.
And I was like,
Yeah.
I immediately showed Jimbo, and Jimbo was like, hell yes, let's do it. And I wrote back, of course, we'll help out any way we can. And then the manager was like, oh, well, the rest of the band can meet you there and all these other things.
I believe the part B of my sentence was, and we got to clean your car.
Yes. Which I did, by the way.
Of course.
But, and then last minute come to find out the band couldn't make it because they had some other things to do that morning. But they said, you go ahead, still pick up Chris. And so you and I were super excited. We had plans to pick up Chris at 9:30 at SFO this past Tuesday morning. Literally, you and I, we want to be on time, especially because it's been raining here in the Bay Area. Mm-hmm. We were concerned about traffic and being on time.
I was very concerned about being on time.
Yeah, as you always are.
Because I knew who was driving to the airport.
So
we had to make sure that we operated under Pacific Standard Time and not Baby Huey Delmore time.
So we left the station probably about, 8:15. We started driving. I was trying to take some side roads just to kind of hurry up and get to the freeway. Literally, as we are about to approach the freeway on-ramp, the entrance, my phone starts blowing up, and I look, and I get a notification from Twitter that someone sent me a message on Twitter. And I look.
DMs.
Yeah, I look, and it says from @IamJericho. I was like, what? Chris Jericho just sent me a DM on Twitter?
What?
Yeah, as Jimbo just said, he slid on in. I opened it up, and he wrote this personal message saying, hey, man, I'm so sorry. I missed my flight. Can I do a phoner? I'm going to be arriving later in the day. And then I checked my email. Also got an email from their manager as well. And I was like, oh, no. Like, Jimbo and I, our hearts literally dropped.
Broken.
Because we're like, oh, we're not going to get the in-studio interview now.
Yeah,
so
we were all excited.
So literally we made a U-turn far away through traffic, get back to the radio station.
Back to the station ever.
Yeah, right?
Should have played some Sinead O'Connor or something. But we make it back to the station, and I tweet back, right back to Jericho and said, yeah, no problem. We'll make it work. We check with Chas's schedule. Says, let's book the phoner around 10 a.m., which we did.
It was great.
Yeah, so we recorded this awesome interview with him. And to his credit, it sounded like he was at the airport, but he gave us, I think, 25 minutes of his time.
You should all go listen to it.
Yeah, it's up at 1077thebone.com right now. But he was an
Click
awesome
the link,
interview.
man.
Yeah, it was really great. We do this great interview. We hang up. And also, he gave me his cell number. I appreciate. It was very cool of him.
He did not know what he did with that. Oh boy!
So
I just like you including that detail. It's very Fatal Attraction already.
It is. It's getting real stalker already.
I'll defend myself later on that. I went ahead and sent him a text and was like, "Hey, thanks again for doing the interview. By the way, do you still need a ride from the airport?"
My idea.
Yeah, Jimbo's idea. So we're just being courteous.
Just being nice.
My thought process on it was like, okay, so we didn't get him to the Levi's Lounge, but dude, he still needs a ride from the airport. How many times in our life, like, are we gonna get a chance to help out a guy that we grew up watching? Yeah, that we're such big fans of.
He entertained us for so many years.
Yeah, so like, why not do it? Like, I'm sure you appreciate it. Yeah,
right.
exactly. Gift to
Jericho.
Absolutely.
So I text him back, and he says, yeah, man, that'd be great. And he says, I land at 12:30. So Jimbo and I planned accordingly. So we left here at 11:30 to make sure we're on time.
Yeah.
And we got there early. We got there probably about 12:15. And it's been a while since I've been at SFO. So we were trying to get over which lane.
Well, okay. Now is where I think I got to tag in.
Step in.
I got to tag in here a little bit.
Hot tag.
So on the ride over to the airport, Shasta. I learned some stuff about Baby Huey on this ride over.
Did you know? First off, we're impressed that my My car was all cleaned inside. Even I cleaned out the trunk.
I never thought your car was particularly dirty. I just didn't want us to pick up Jericho and there'd be like a cheeseburger wrapper or something like attached, like stuck to his leg or something. But so we're driving over. It's raining. It was a rainy day in the city. You know, not just from the tears of when I thought that we weren't actually going to get to see him.
Yeah.
But Baby Huey starts. Shasta, I don't know if you're aware of this phenomenon, but Huey, do you need glasses?
I think I might need some soon.
Because
I really
we were
do.
having some serious vision problems on the road.
Yeah,
That's
I mean, just from a
terrifying.
distance, I mean, it was raining and, you know, windshield wipers are going. I was trying to see which lane. Because, you know, when you're going down 101, the way it starts splitting, it's like SFO, and then it's like there's one lane to go to, like, the park, a rental car, the one for domestic, international. So I'm trying to see which lane to go down. I don't want to be going to, like, international territory, and I'm going to be, like, think I'm picking them up, and I'm really at the China drop off or something.
For me, my alarm bells were going off immediately as we're riding over. He's like, which exit do I get to? I was like, haven't you been to the airport before? It's like,
It's been a minute.
But still, like, I didn't realize that, you know, you were in that dire need of glasses.
Well,
And I gave Huey
I
specific suggestions that we don't Mr. Toad wild ride it like he's
I was
wont
driving
to do.
slow.
Yeah.
But so we get there, but we get through the rain, we get there, and we're circling around.
We go to the right terminal. We see
Yeah.
where it's at.
Yeah.
But Chas, I don't know about you. You've flown out SFO recently, right?
Oh yeah.
But have you know they're like the parking enforcement?
Oh,
people,
they're
they're
unreal.
brutal.
You can't
Like-
even like take a breath there. And
Literally.
like, get out.
Literally, like we just parked and we just like looked to see which is the which airline he was coming from, what's the right exit.
Right.
We want to make sure we're right there in front of it. Literally, lights start flashing, woo woo, and they're on their loudspeaker. Get out the way, please move, keep moving, keep moving. Literally, we couldn't even take a breather and look.
That's
We had
true.
to- so we start looping around probably like 4 times.
Or more than that.
And then Jericho texted me and says, "Hey, I'm here. I'm getting my baggage." I'll see. And I'm like, "Okay, cool. On our way."
Well, I will say this in terms of what Huey just described. Yes, they are super
Strict
Yeah.
about the waiting.
Yeah.
But Huey had a brilliant stratagem. I didn't have the heart to tell you this at the time, but when we first tried to stop, he's like, we parked like a little bit behind another one of those people that tell you to move.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, oh man, like there's another one right behind us. I thought like they'd be far away.
Yeah.
There was nobody sitting in the one in front of us, Huey. It was an empty.
Oh no.
I didn't have the heart to tell you at the time, but I feel like now that we're on Facebook Live, this is the appropriate venue
You tell the entire world.
to share that information. I was like
A
dying in my head.
decoy. They threw me off on purpose.
Decoy.
They set
Well,
me
you
up.
couldn't see anything, Huey.
You're
so
pretty easy to fool, apparently.
you couldn't see anything.
That's what happens when you stare at the computer all day like I do. My vision's getting blurry.
But we finally I hopped out because when we stopped the second time, eventually they caught up to us again and like told them to move. So I jumped out of the car to go let Chris know what was going on
Real
while he was
quick.
waiting for his baggage.
I was gonna say, did you like my strategy of just?
Yeah, he'd go forward and then he'd go back a little bit and then he'd go forward to make it look like we were in constant motion.
Yeah. I wasn't parked.
Yeah.
I'm constantly moving
It's
back.
like a shark. If it keeps swimming, it won't die.
Yeah.
So,
my
but they
God.
eventually figured that one out too.
Yeah.
So Jimbo jumped out.
So jumped out, met up with Chris at baggage claim, and he had told us that he had, in rushing out of his hotel room, had left his podcasting equipment. He does this great podcast, Talk Is Jericho. You should all listen to that too. And that he needed us to take him to a Best Buy, which Chasta, this was like. You were in on that conversation
Yeah.
when we were at the radio station
I knew that
before we
was
had to go
possible.
home. Yeah, and that we were turning this into like running errands and like hanging out with Chris Jericho.
Yeah.
Especially his new podcast, hanging out with Chris Jericho.
Exactly. So, but when I was there waiting, making conversation with him, he super gentleman, great guy.
Yes.
He mentioned that to me, what was going on, and I threw it out there, and I was like, why don't you just come back to the studio with us and use our studios? Like, I don't know what your needs are if you have to record it on site. He's like, no, that sounds like a great idea. That'd be a huge help. Da-da-da-da-da. It's like I called here, made sure there was, like, we had one available that he could use, and so that became the plan. And what happened next
Yes.
is the real.
It's
The
really
real.
good.
This is the best part of the story. Well, the best. It was the best of times and the worst of times. So we get Chris in the car. Chris and Huey riding shotgun, and I'm looking on, and we're talking to him. It's like, oh shoot, we're escorting Chris Jericho.
We're his personal drivers for the day.
We're driving out of the airport and everything like that, or so I think, and we see where we're supposed to get back on the highway, and we drove right by it. And so it's like, oh shoot, we missed our exit. All right, no problem.
It happens.
It happens. So now we gotta make this whole it's a big airport, so we gotta make this whole loop over again. And so we're driving, and Tommy Tomas Delmore was in the back seat with me as well,
right.
And he's trying to direct Huey to the right exit. So we're driving along, and Chris is great, making conversation. Yeah, man, thanks for picking us up and everything, and we drive right by the exit again. Again, and.
Okay, pause for a second. Was it because you couldn't see it because you're blind, or was it because you had the flop sweats and you were nervous?
A little
Bingo!
Yeah, that's what I thought.
It's a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm driving, and I'm like, I don't want to screw this up.
Chris Jericho's in my freaking
I know.
car.
Honestly, he's the biggest name in wrestling in the last year for everything he's accomplished in WWE, New Japan. He's been the talk
Right.
for a long time. And he's just sitting in my car, chilling, talking to us, playing on his phone. I was like, this is amazing. And I was like, don't screw this up, don't screw this up, don't screw this up.
he was joking.
And I'm like, but then at the SFO, trying to get out, there's 3 separate ways. Dude, there's the far left is takes you to parking. The middle one loops you around again. The third one, and there's white things standing up.
The decision you made was to just stay in the same road that doesn't turn into anything else, man.
It's like you guys are my
co-pilot. What's the definition of insanity? We were trying to help you. We actually, I remember Tommy told you specifically, yeah, get over here, and they're like, okay.
Speak up! I did not hear you guys. My mind was
you acknowledged it verbally, and then you didn't do it. So we missed a second. Okay, this is getting weird. We're not able to we go around again.
Shut your face!
We go around again, and at this point, I'm beside myself. In my head, I'm like, we gotta tag out here. We're gonna have to drop Chris off and call him an Uber. this is a wash. This is bad.
I'm so nervous, and then I start sweating because I'm like, oh my god, we're screwing up.
So when I think it was the third time around, Huey looked in his rear view and made eye contact with me. I've never seen that look in his eyes before, and I don't know what I was shooting at you, but I wanted to shoot the ghost dad coming out of the phone. What are you doing? You're blowing this, man.
Oh my god,
it was, but I mean, looking back, it was hysterical because what the hell was Chris Jericho thinking while he's in this car with us?
Who are these 3 strangers?
What has he gotten himself into? Yeah, all right, I'm gonna need to see some credentials. Who the hell are you people?
He was very trustworthy. To his credit.
Am I being punked? What? We are going around and
Oh my god!
I'm sure
he must have thought he was being kidnapped.
Yeah, exactly. He's
but
sends out an Amber alert or something like that from his phone.
I finally learned from my ways, and I got over to the far right lane, back on the 101 North, heading back in the city.
I think it was 4 laps.
No, it wasn't. It was just 2.
It was 3.
No, it was 2. It was 2. It was 2.
Emphatically 3.
No, it wasn't. It was 2.
Emphatically 3.
I was like, it was 2. No, I was. No, it's.
We can say it's 2 till the cows come home, but there was in wrestling, there was a 3 count.
There was a 3 count.
So
I'm sure it felt like 12.
No, so we make our way back to the station. It was cool.
There's one other addendum to that. So
God.
right when we, and I love you, baby Huey, and this is the best story.
Yeah.
You've given Chris Jericho a great road story for his next book. You might be his next book.
That would be amazing.
But so when we finally got on the exit and stuff like that, kudos to you, fist bump for that.
Thank you.
We immediately launch into the air. And, hit super thud. Jericho verbally, he's like, whoa! And I was like, what did I say about Mr. Toad and his wild ride, baby Huey? I was like,
oh my god, I'm gonna pee my pants.
This is so fail right now.
But we finally
his guest is gonna beat us to the studio.
So,
oh my god.
So we finally get to 101 North, and we're driving, and so we finally get back to the station. I dropped them off out front. I ran, parked the car. I come back. They're already Jericho was like recording intros and stuff for his podcast. He started using our studio, and I told him, like, dude, you're more than welcome to, because his podcast, not to get super radio geeky, but it's produced and syndicated and put out there through Westwood One, which our company Cumulus owns.
Right.
So I told Chris, hey, Chris, we're technically like co-workers. He's like, yeah, man. So I was like,
And we're besties.
Did we just become best friends?
Mikasa is Sukasa. You can use our studios anytime.
I think you actually said that too.
I did.
Yeah,
Yes,
oh my
you heard
God.
that.
That was a good usage.
Yeah.
You're such
Yeah.
a dork.
He's like, yeah, man. And so we bring him here. He starts doing his things. And we're like, who are you going to do an interview with? He's like, oh, with Dave Meltzer. We're like, what? Dave Meltzer? Who's like...
Pro wrestling writer extraordinaire.
Yeah. And so he comes in. And we're like, hey, Dave Meltzer. So like, our mind is blown just because we have one of the greatest wrestlers of all time, arguably one of the greatest wrestling reporters, journalists of all time. And they're recording an episode, Talk is Jericho. So we set them up, let them do their thing. Jimbo and I stepped out. They go on for like an hour plus. And then afterwards, Jericho was like, hey, can I get a ride to Slim's?
Oh my God, he wanted to do this again.
It's like,
Good
it's
Lord.
like, sure,
I
man.
probably looked at the Uber prices, probably surging
yeah,
because of the rain.
That's true. Okay, before you get into that, I just have to pause this for 1 second because I have to do a U2
Yes.
giveaway right now.
Okay.
Actually, so we're going to
We'll,
pause.
we'll circle back
Yes.
to the rest of the story.
We'll circle back.
That's okay. Thank you for reminding me about that.
We'll
Okay, so if you're watching on Facebook Live right now, this is Chasta has to do her actual midday job
Yes.
stuff.
We'll reset the room.
Yeah.
Reset the room.
Well,
I'll
should I just
pause
want to let this roll?
Let it roll.
Because I can just cut it afterwards.
Yeah, that's-
yeah. Because the podcast will cut this
Okay, I'll
spot
let
out.
that roll.
Do what you Facebook Live. Do you just want to watch or?
No, I think we should. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll reset.
All right, we'll
that.
be right back.
Okay, in like literally like
We'll circle back.
2 minutes. Give us 2 minutes.
That's a joke from the story.